Guys, hope all is well. I would like to talk about the differences between commercial real estate investment in commercial real estate and buying a single family home or an apartment. There are many people who do that, selling single family homes or apartments, which is great. It's beautiful. It's also a great investment. It's an important investment many times. But I think that commercial real estate, if you're looking purely on an investment from an investment perspective, and let's say, for example, if you want to buy an apartment in Israel for your family, that's a different thing already. But I'm saying when you look only from the financial perspective, right, I think commercial real estate has far better advantages, and I'm going to start right now. First of all, responsibility. When you buy a single family home or stuff like that, you are responsible. It's your responsibility. All aspects. It's sort of like you're sort of like a small business owner. For example, you have to take care of the financing, you're liable to that. And I'm going to talk about it. You take care of the management, you have to take care of the people who rent from you. Everything is your responsibility. While commercial real estate, you're a backseat driver. You don't have to worry about all that stuff. You're a limited partner tied to an LLC that is in the company. You're basically owning that property, but you are not deciding anything. It's not your decision. There's a guy who leads the deal. He's the entrepreneur, the GP, general partner, sponsor, whatever it's called. He does everything. He's liable towards the bank and everything. Now it leads me to talk about the financing. When you do a single family home, you have to go to the bank. If you need financing, you have to go and sign all these papers. You have to be liable. If something happens, there's a default. They're going to come to you. They're going to take from you other stuff. That's one thing. When it comes to the financing of the commercial property, nothing about, you don't have to worry about that. That's not your problem. You put your equity and finished. Which leads me to the next thing. Your equity, when it comes to commercial property, your equity is not at risk except of your equity. Okay? Meaning, I'll rephrase it. In every investment, your equity is at risk. Period. That's in every investment. Sometimes more, sometimes much less. But that's the reality. No pain, no gain. That's the way it is. That's life. But when in commercial property you put your equity, that is what is at risk. No one's going to come to you. If that's lost. But no one's going to come to you for further things. That's it. When it comes to a single family home, your equity is at risk plus. Meaning if something's happening, like I said, the bank needs more money or the value went down, and you have to take care of all that stuff. Okay? You have to come and take care of all that stuff. Okay, while in commercial property, it's not your responsibility. You may want to do that for the benefit of the deal, but you don't have to do it. There you have to do it. If there's a fix-up situation and there's more money needed in a single-family home, you have to do it. It's your responsibility. Okay, enough said about that. Now, management. Management in a single-family home, you have to go yourself and make sure it's fixed. Now, if you take a great management company, good for you. And there are many great management companies no matter where. But if you're far away and the management company went default, who knows where they are? They just didn't do their job properly. You have to take care of it. You have to go find another management team and do it. That is your responsibility. While in commercial property, the entrepreneur has to take care of all that stuff. It's not your problem. Okay? So that's another aspect to think about. Now let's talk about the renters. Single family home, you have one source of income. One family is renting from you. They're paying you rent every single month. That's 100%. If they're gone, it's 0. 100 to 0. It's crazy. Okay? So that's something to think about. Now, let's think about the opposite. Commercial real estate, you may have 200 people. It's in a multifamily property. 200 people are renting from you, let's say. Okay? For example. At any given time, there are going to be people, there are going to be vacancies, right? You have to check well and everything. I'm going to talk about it, but you have vacancies at any given time. Now, think about this. You're not exposed in the way you're exposed in a single family home. Even if you have a retail with 5 renters and 2 or 3 are gone, you still have someone. You have to make sure that you're not going under, but you're not at the 0 to 100 risk. It's a different story, okay? Which leads me to talk about the underwriting. There's no way that you, as smart, professional, and savvy as you are, can underwrite. Maybe I'm mistaken, and there's this one guy who is exceptional. There's no way you, as a professional, in terms of underwriting and checking due diligence of the property of single, even though it's much easier to check a single-family home or apartment. But there's no way you're in the level of the commercial real estate guy who does it day in and day out and has staff or outsourced staff or whatever it is, analysts and people and appraisers. and lawyers who are checking every single aspect that should be checked. Hopefully they are, okay? But that person who does day in and day out, or is doing it as service for many years beforehand, is in the business, is doing it just like you're a doctor and that's what you do all day long, or you're a lawyer and do other things. That's what the person does. So you're a backseat driver with a much better bus driver than yourself, okay? So that's a fact of life. It's something that you have to take it into consideration. Which leads me to make sure we understand how we look at the investment perspective. When you look at the investment perspective, in a single family home, usually people see, oh, how much do I have? Sometimes look at the internal rate of return a little bit, but they're not as savvy, which is what I spoke about, and they're not as professional. When you look at a commercial property, you look at the current investment net operating income. There are many expenses, there are many money, all the money that is coming in from the rent roll, and then all the expenses, and then you put it down, you see a bottom line. At any given time, it has to be in a plus. It has to be in a place where there's more money come in, their money goes out, and you have to monitor it all the time, okay? To make sure that you are in a great position, not only in the current position, but across the board, over time, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, internal rate of return, IRR, to make sure that the sort of, I'm not going to explain I'm going to make another video about this, but basically, that you're in a great position, your investment is a good investment, okay? That's something that people who do commercial real estate check all the time. It's a huge advantage, maybe the most important thing. Now, I named many aspects for that kind of, for the advantages of commercial real estate versus single family home or an apartment, or buying an apartment. I just wanted to pick your brain about this. If you have something to say, I appreciate if you put it down, or you write it on Facebook. This is I'm doing this in YouTube because it's a long post. But I'm gonna basically, I'll be happy to hear from you. If you have something to say, if you disagree with me, also I respect that, and I'll be happy to hear what you have to say. So with that, I'm gonna tell you: invest, study about investing, and do a good job. And have a beautiful, amazing day. Take care.